Besides, why would Paulson suspect that Wall Street securitization process was deeply funded? After all, Goldman Sachs had moved into the business on Paulson watch. Paulson was part of the machine, not outside it. That also meant for all of Paulson worries about derivatives. He didn't understand the dangerous potential of credit default swaps on mortgage. Trout he'd later say, if I had known some of the things that were happening, I wouldn't have been able to sleep at night. Paulson certainly was alone. Everyone else on Wall Street and in Washington shared his views. In late 2005, Bernanke said that home prices, rather than being in bubble territory, reflect strong economic fundamentals. In 2006, he said that he expected the housing market to cool but not to change very sharply. He went on to tell CNBC, "We've never had a decline in house price on national-wide basis, so what I think more likely is that house prices will slow, maybe stabilize, as late as spring of 2007," he said. We believe um, the effect of the troubles in the subprime sectors on the broader housing market will likely be limited, and we do not expect significant spillovers from the subprime market to the rest of the economy or the financial system. Another reason for Paulson playing spot saw people who worked with him was that he had too much faith in regulators. He thought the regulators were more capable than they were, says a staffer. Paulson today considers he'd put too much faith in regulation himself during his time in office. Paulson would change his tone. The system was so outside and scream up, you just couldn't have managed it. He'd later say a big part of the problems, of course, was that both the regulators and Paulson assumed that financial institutions were more competent than they were. Paulson spent his career at Goldman, which had Leeds didn't need anyone else to deal it how to protect its own bottom line. He had no idea that other firms were as capable of looking out for their own interests. No financial institutions wants to blow itself up. He later explained, so I have always taken some confidence in the fact that their survival instinct will help protect the system, but I was shocked by how bad risk management was in some institutions, and many banks thought were smarter than they were. Be, by 2006, John Dugan, the comptroller of the currency, was fretting to other regulators about the growth in non-traditional subprime mortgage, according to several former Treasury officials. But here was a disconnect, says one official. The people in the Treasury building who spent months of their time on housing were the economists. The people of the market sides were the ones dealing with leverage. Even in this building, with a small senior staff, people were not talking every day. Looking back, you can see how one thing would lead to another, how mortgages were used to create instruments that were used to create leverage, but no one made the connections on the time. There was another component to the thinking to leverage in the system had built up slowly. It was gradual process that got us to where we were, says a former treasury official. So you'd think it would be a gradual process that got us out. in these assumptions. However, they could not have been more wrong.